Hi, my name is Amy. This video is going to be a little bit more serious than the ones that I usually post, but I'm going to try and keep it lighthearted because it doesn't really need to be like a really sad thing, because there are some uplifting moments and hope and positivity. So I'm just gonna share with you guys my experience, and hopefully, well, I guess not hopefully it's relatable, but if it is relatable to you, then like I hope that you get something out of this video. If you can't relate to this situation, then I hope maybe you learned something too. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be saying in this video. I just want to get something out, you know? So today when I'm posting this, it marks 4 years of my mom being gone. So I wanted to post something just in tribute to her, and just talking about the general idea of losing someone, because people don't really talk about it enough, and I think it's worth talking about. It's helpful to voice your thoughts because they might resonate with someone else, you know? So I just hope that someone gets something out of this video, you know? I always hope that, but especially with this one, I hope that this is meaningful to someone. So if you don't know this about me, my senior year of high school, my mom actually passed away. It's not really something that I like bring up to new people because I don't really know how to. I feel like it is just something that like, it's weird to talk about when you aren't like already talking about something sad. Like, you don't want to just randomly bring up that your mom died in conversation because like I don't know, like I don't want to bring the mood down. I don't want to like make the conversation a big deal, because I'm comfortable saying like my mom died without crying or anything, but I feel like people take it weirdly when you bring it up, so I feel weird about it. And I'm also just like not that good at like speaking. I don't know why I have a YouTube channel, because I'm really not that good at like fully expressing my thoughts and feelings in a way that I feel really represents me. Which is why a couple years ago I actually wrote down a bunch of stuff. I have this notebook here. I was actually gonna give this to my ex-boyfriend because I wanted to just write down like everything about myself, like, and the things that I've gone through that have made me who I am, just so that he could get like a better understanding of who I am, because again, I fear that I can't express myself through words. So I wanted to write it all down, get my thoughts together, and try and, I don't know, explain myself to him, I guess. But he ended up breaking up with me before I was able to give him this, but I'm not mad about it because now I still have it, and I feel like I also am kind of glad that I didn't share all of this with him, because it didn't end up working out anyways. So, you know, like, I got trust issues. I don't want to be opening up to too many people. I'm not gonna read this word for word. I'm just kind of gonna skim through it to like keep my thoughts organized. But I basically run down like everything, like like it's a lot. Oh my god. Whoa. Yeah, definitely not going through all of it. I'm like shaking. I'm like scared. I'm also kind of hot. I turned my fan off so there wasn't any white noise. There's still gonna be like street noise as always, but we're fine with that. So my senior year of high school, I was 17. It was in March, so it was like towards the end of my senior year. I was involved in a lot of stuff at the time. I also had a job that was like based in the school, and I was just a part of a lot of like senior year activities and like National Honor Society and just all this extra stuff. So I had a lot going on. So on March 12th, my mom went into cardiac arrest in her sleep. My dad was not in the bed with her because it was just like a common thing that one of them would maybe be snoring too loud and the other one would go downstairs to the living room to sleep. It wasn't like bad thing. It was just like a thing that would happen every once in a while. It wasn't like every night or anything. So my dad was sleeping on the couch that night because she was snoring so loud. But at some point in the night, she went into cardiac arrest. She wasn't getting oxygen to her brain for a long period of time, so there was just a lot of brain damage that couldn't be reversed. I was actually not home either. I was at a friend's house the night before, and I got a ride home that morning. I like walked in, I saw my dad on the couch. I was like, okay, my mom's snoring then. But he was awake. I was like, hey dad, can you give me a ride to work? Gotta go to work right now. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. We both go upstairs. I went to go like change my clothes. He went to go change, whatever, get ready. And I hear him like calling my mom over and over again. And I was like, what's going on? So I went into their room and I saw her. She was kind of like sitting up almost, but she was like mostly laying down. She sounded like she was breathing kind of, but it was more of like a snore sound. And she had this, I don't want to get too like graphic or anything, but she had this like beige colored stuff coming out of her mouth and nose. And she was unresponsive, obviously. And my dad and I like struggled to call 911. We ended up getting on the phone. They came. That was a big blur. I don't really remember a lot of that. That was just like a lot. They came and ended up taking my mom to the nearest hospital. And also I had to go to work. I was the one that was supposed to be opening. And at the time I worked with my ex-boyfriend, different ex-boyfriend that I was gonna give this book to. But I worked with him, like we were exes at the time, like we were exes while we were working together. But I had to like text him and be like, hey, like you need to come pick up the key. He lived like literally like 5 minutes away from me, so it wasn't like a big deal. But I was like, you need to pick up the key. Something's wrong with my mom. I have to go to the hospital. And he came, picked up the key, whatever, and my dad and I followed the ambulance to the hospital. She was in the emergency room at first, and then she got moved to the ICU. And she was in the ICU for 8 days, I believe. And I went there every single day. I would go to school, I would go to my play rehearsals, and then I would go to the hospital to be with my mom. And there was a ton of my family there. It was actually really nice to see like how many people really cared about her and loved her, because a lot of people came by throughout those 8 days, and it was just really nice. I don't know why I thought that I would get through this without crying, because I genuinely cry so easily. So she was on a breathing tube the whole time. She was unconscious. We weren't able to really like communicate with her. I don't know. We tried to like talk to her. I don't know if she could hear us. I like to think that maybe she could, but also I would get kind of nervous doing that, because like it feels weird talking to someone that like you don't even know if they can hear you. Oh my god. I need to stop. Okay. So after like about a week in the ICU, we knew we kind of had to make a decision soon, but it was obviously not an easy decision to make, but it was an obvious decision to make. The doctors told us that basically like she could like live the rest of her life as a vegetable, and just there was no real hope that she was ever going to be normal again, or like even conscious ever again. Or we had to make the decision to pull the breathing tube and kind of just hope for a miracle, but expect that that was going to be like the end. So it was a really obvious decision for us. We knew exactly what my mom would have wanted. Her mom had dementia, so she had to deal with like the process of like losing her mom and just seeing her kind of like forget everything. So during that time, she like kind of made it clear, like if like she was ever in a position like that, she wouldn't want us to suffer or have to like deal with that for the rest of our lives. So on March 20th, I went to school. I went to my play rehearsal, kind of knowing what was going to be happening after, but I still did it. You know, I made the commitments and I wanted to be there. I wanted to be with my friends and keep up with my life, you know, like life still goes on. So I wanted to keep just like showing up and being present in my life. And my cousin picked me up from school, took me over to the hospital for the 8th day in a row, and essentially I watched my mom take her last breath. It was obviously very hard to watch, but in a way I was thankful that I got to at least be there with her in her last moments. So many people don't get that opportunity. Yeah, so many people don't get to say goodbye to their loved ones, so even though I don't know if she could hear me, at least I could physically see her and say goodbye to her. It was just me and my dad and my brother and my cousin in the room. My uncle was gonna come in, but he couldn't really handle it, which I get. Like, I get that you don't want to remember someone in that way, but for me there was no way I wasn't gonna be there, you know? Like, it's my mom, like I'm gonna be there until the last fucking second. And like I realize that that's like a traumatic thing to experience, to like watch that, but I don't feel like I'm like traumatized by it. I don't know. I mean, obviously that's like stupid to say, like I'm sure like it's affected me in a lot of ways, but it was important for me to be there and be with her. Oh god. Okay, we're gonna stop crying now. After we left the hospital, I went home. I basically just typed up an email to all of my teachers that year, and I said, hey, just got back from the ICU. My mom just passed away. I am planning on coming to school. I want to be there, but just keep in mind that I'm kind of going through something right now. And I got a lot of really nice responses back. I honestly had really good relationships with my teachers pretty much all through high school, but like especially senior year, I had a lot of people at that point that I could depend on at that school, and I really am thankful for that. I know a lot of people have like really shitty high school experiences, so I was really lucky. I had like my sewing teacher who was basically like a second mom to me, and that was just so important to be able to go to her class and have just like a safe space to just sew, like and like not have to like worry about too much, you know. My portfolio prep, like art class teacher, she was really understanding too, and just like let me chill out and do literally whatever I wanted, and it was so nice. Like my psych teacher and like past teachers that I had too, like everyone was so like understanding and kind. I think people thought that it was weird that I went to school the day after, but it made sense to me. Like, I don't know, in my mind, like why would I stay home and just like cry all day, you know? Like I get like people grieve in different ways, and like some people might think that it's weird to like not take even like a little bit of a break, but I just like couldn't. Like I'm just the type of person, like I get anxious if I like miss assignments and stuff. Like I just wanted to be like on top of my shit. Like I know she wouldn't want me to just pause my life, because life doesn't pause for tragedy. It just doesn't. Like it doesn't stop. You don't get a break. You still have to like get up and brush your teeth and shower and get dressed and do like everything, you know. You still have to get groceries. Like you can't just stop living because someone else did. So like in my perspective, I wanted to be with my friends at school, and I had a really good support system anyway, so I knew it wasn't gonna be like difficult to go to school. I didn't love like the attention that I kind of got from it. Like people that I wasn't really close with would like come up to me and be like, oh my god, I heard what happened, like I'm so sorry, if you need anything. And I started to resent the word anything. I literally wrote a short film script about like this idea it was called Anything, and it was for my writing for visual media class in college, and that was really therapeutic to like write that out. And like it was just like about my like high school experience, like losing my mom, and people will come up to you and say like, oh, if you need anything, and it's like, what have you ever done for me? Like, you haven't been there before, you know? Like, it's not like give me money, like what, like are you gonna do that? Like anything? I don't know about anything. Like, people just throw that word around because people don't really know how to deal with other people's grievances. Like, if you're not personally affected by something but you see that someone else is, people don't know like how to react to that in the right way. I feel like no one really knows how to grieve properly, and there isn't one proper way to grieve. It's just whatever is best for you. Like, as long as you're not being destructive to yourself or anyone else, like there is no wrong way to grieve. And I really learned that throughout this process. Like, it really, some people will offer up everything that they have. They will be like, oh, like I can give you rides, like they'll bring you food without even like asking, like for like they'll just like help you. Like, the people that want to help you will, without like saying that they're going to, like they're just gonna help you because they care. And then the people that you aren't that close with, that like don't really owe you anything, they're gonna be like, oh, like if you need anything, like you're in my thoughts and prayers. It's like, I doubt that, but thank you. Like, it's nice. I don't want to discredit anything with that. Like, obviously, like people still feel inclined to like offer their condolences to people, and like they should. That's nice. Like, but it is kind of like bombardment to some extent when people are constantly like feeling sorry for you. Like, I didn't like that part of being at school, but everyone was really understanding and nice. So I am very thankful for the people I was surrounded by at the time. But yeah, just the phrase, if you need anything, just hits different now. It means literally nothing to me, because the people that say that wouldn't do anything for you. Like, they wouldn't, like they'd maybe like sign a card for you or something, you know? Like, they're not gonna like put anything on the line for you, and like they don't have to. It's fine. But it just like, that phrase just, it gets to me. So I learned like I never say that to anyone now, like unless I genuinely am gonna offer them something, you know? If you have like the means to like help someone that's going through something, offer your help, but in a way that feels real, you know? Like, be genuine. I think going through this at 17, I feel it was in some ways harder because like I was very aware of what was going on. Like, it wasn't like I was a child and like I didn't really know my mom that well. Like, we were close. I had a good relationship with her. She was the best. Like, she was a fucking rock star, dude. Like, I loved her so much. And I don't know, losing her at 17 was hard. It's hard to lose someone at any age, obviously, but I feel like when you like have that connection with someone and then they're just gone, it's so hard. But I learned a lot about myself and about other people throughout like the process of moving on from this. And you never really move on. Like, I think about my mom every single fucking day, like 7 times a day at least. Like, it's not something that just like you forget about. But it's like, even if my mom was alive, like I would think about her that many times a day, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just, the only difference now is that like it's kind of like a sad passing thought. Like, fuck, like I wish my mom was here. I wish I could tell her this. I wish I could ask her this. I'm like looking at what I wrote 2 years ago, and I like don't resonate with some of this now. I mean, at the time when I wrote this, I was really anxious for like different reasons. I had a lot of like relationship anxiety at the time, probably because of my trust issues from my first relationship, but I was not in the best space when I wrote this. So I said things like, no matter how much I tell myself that things are okay, my brain just doesn't let me be fully happy. The worst part about anxiety is knowing that your fears and worries are irrational, but not being able to make the physical feeling of anxiety go away. Yeah, but I don't feel that way now. I feel like the anxiety that I was feeling then wasn't really related to my mom. It was more relationship anxiety, because the second that my ex broke up with me, I didn't have that anxiety anymore. But I really learned a lot about me, and I think I became just very emotionally intelligent and introspective, and I feel like I'm good at like internalizing things and actually like benefiting from that, you know. I feel like some people keep everything in and they don't really like analyze their own thoughts, but like I love to just like take time to myself to talk out loud, honestly, like to myself, about the things that I feel and the things I've experienced and how it's affected me, and it really helps me more so than like communicating with other people, to be honest. Like it's tricky. Like I want to talk about it with people if they want to talk about it, you know, like I don't want to bring it up randomly though, but I'm comfortable talking about it. Like I can usually talk about it without breaking down into tears. This video doesn't really prove that, but I can't talk about it. It's not like something that is taboo and that people can't bring up around me, but it's just like not something that is easy to talk about, and people don't want to talk about things like that usually. So that's kind of why I'm making this video. This is more for me than for anything, but I just wanted this like catharsis of speaking about this, because it's been a long time and I haven't really like done that. This video honestly has been a long time in the making. Even before I had a YouTube channel, I wanted to do something like this, write an article or something like about my mom and opening up, because I feel like I did learn a lot and I want to share it with other people, but I was never really in the like mood to film something like this. A lot of people during this time like told me that I was strong, and I really liked hearing that, and it made me feel really good, because as a kid I was really sensitive. I would cry over like everything just to like get my way, and like I just would take things so literally and so seriously and like take everything to heart, and I kind of slowly grew out of that over time. But I think losing my mom, I like to say that when she died, she passed her strength onto me, because she was really a strong woman. She dealt with a lot in her life and just put up with so much, and I just want to be like her in every way. I want to be strong-minded and just thoughtful and caring. So I really feel like even though she's gone, she still does kind of parent me in that way. I can almost parent myself through the memory of her, and like that's one, I guess, good side of losing my mom when I was like practically an adult. She raised me to be the woman that I am. Like I didn't, like she got in a lot of life lessons in the 17 years that I was with her. I think losing my mom really put my life into perspective. I stopped worrying about the stupid little teen drama shit that would bother me before. Things can be so much worse than stupid high school drama, and that stupid shit doesn't even matter in a year, let alone like long term. So I really started to waste less time like freaking out about things that don't matter and that won't matter in a short period of time, just to like chill out, because life is crazy, but we can get through it if we just like take a breath and focus on what really matters to us. I think the most common feeling that I feel when I think about my mom is just frustration. Like it's so frustrating that for the rest of my entire life, like I can never see her again. You know what I mean? Like she's not gonna see me graduate college, which really sucks. That was really important to her, that both of her kids went to college and she didn't get to see either of us graduate college. But you know, she'll be there. I mean, it's gonna be a fucking Zoom graduation anyways, so it's not like a big deal, I guess, but it is a big deal. You know, like I wanted her to be there, obviously. I wanted her to see me graduate high school at least, but it's okay. And she's not gonna see me like get married or meet her grandchildren. She didn't see my brother get married, so it sucks, but I still try to keep her alive in my thoughts. So I do have her in that way. For anyone that's lost someone important to them, like, I know what you're going through. I know that you think about them every single day. And it's gonna be like that forever, you know? Like, I'm never gonna stop thinking about my mom, but like, I don't want to. I don't ever want to stop thinking about her. I don't ever want to forget her. I worry about that sometimes, that I'm gonna like forget what she sounded like, or what she looked like, or the way she talked. But that's why you just gotta keep them alive in your memory, and that's why it's important to like sometimes talk about memories that you have with people that you've lost as if they are still here. Like, when I bring up my mom, like, I talk about her in the past tense, but I will bring up memories of her without like crying, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, oh, like, yeah, my mom used to do that, my mom used to do this, one time my mom said this, and like, I bring it up casually, you know? It is casual, it's like, it's still my memories with her, you know? So I feel like that's a good way to keep people alive and just honor them and not forget about them. I learned a lot about the different ways that people grieve. Like, for me, I internalized it a lot and just kind of like was my own little therapist throughout the whole thing. I was open to talking about it, you know? Like, I wasn't like avoiding talking about it. It was more just like I didn't really have much to say to other people about it because I already knew how I felt about it, you know what I mean? And that's all that really matters, is like how you feel about whatever situation you're going through. It doesn't matter like what other people think you should feel. If people wanted me to be sad in school or like not come to school, then like that's how you can deal with things like this. But for me, like, I wanted to be in school and keep doing what I was supposed to be doing. Some people remain very level-headed and just like calm and realistic, and that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that they're hiding something, you know? Like, they might just be a level-headed person and they're able to deal with serious things better than the average person. So you really just can't tell anyone how to grieve. Like, you really can't. There is no right way. Another thing that I learned is that people only care about your grief for a certain amount of time if they aren't personally experiencing it themselves. There is like a time limit. There's an expiration date on getting that intense support. Like, you'll still, like, every once in a while, like, people will like offer your support if they are reminded that you went through something, but while you're going through it, there's only like a certain time frame where people care to like help you, you know? Like, the people that are close to you will still be there, but like the people that are like, oh, if you need anything, like, they stop after like a couple weeks, you know? Like, there's only like a certain amount of time where people feel inclined to like offer their support. It's human nature to like say things like, sorry for your loss, like, if you need anything. It's just a reaction. Like, it's a natural instinct to say that when you want to console someone. But you know, it's not that it's not genuine, it just sounds a lot less genuine than actually helping someone, you know what I mean? I hope that this isn't coming off like ungrateful. I'm so grateful for everyone, and like, my mom's wake was really amazing. Like, there's so many people there, like the whole like 2 hours or whatever it was that we were there. So many of my friends came, and like people from high school that like I wasn't even like super close with, but that like I was friends with. Like, so many people came, and it just felt so good to see how many people loved and cared about my mom. And I want to have a wake like that, you know? Like, I want to like leave lasting memories on people, and just like, I don't know, I want to have a lot of people in my corner at the end of it all, you know? It was powerful to see, like, the whole time there was a steady line of people, and like the mayor of my city came, like some of my teachers from high school came. It was just really nice to see. It was a nice day. It was really meaningful to me, and I don't think I'll ever forget that day. I'm glad that since I did have to go through this, I at least learned a lot from it and became stronger for it. I really took this situation and tried to better myself out of it, and I'm proud of myself for that. Like, I'm gonna say that that's probably what I'm most proud of myself for, is that I am able to deal with really hard things with ease and with grace and maturity. I feel like I've become very in tune with my emotions and just emotionally intelligent. I'm able to like be in tune with other people's emotions too, I feel. Not saying that like this is something that everyone should have to go through to be a good person or whatever. There are plenty of ways to like build character and like discover who you want to be, but this was just my way of getting life experience, I guess, and I'm thankful for the people that I have in my life that have helped me to get through this, you know? Like, I have no idea what kind of person I would be if that never happened, if I never lost my mom. Like, I have no idea where I would be. I think I'd be fine. I think I'd be good because I still have my mom with me, obviously, but I think I would be very different, for sure. I've gotten to a point, like a while back, I guess, where I can mostly look back fondly on memories with my mom, and sometimes I do still get emotional, obviously. Often when I'm drunk, I will have a moment where I just break down and cry, but, you know, it's healthy to get that out of your system. It's good to do that regularly, but for the most part, I keep it private. I cry in private. I analyze my thoughts in private, and maybe it's because I don't want to appear vulnerable or weak, or maybe it's just because I hate crying while I'm talking and just like that feeling in your throat that you get. But you know, I like going through things on my own. No one knows what's going on in my head better than I do, and same for all of you. Like, no one knows you better than you, so make sure that you know you and you really are proud of who you are and love who you are. And it takes time to get there, obviously. For some people it takes more time than others, but just make sure that you're solid before you like get into a relationship or like help other people. You know, like, make sure that you are in a position where you are the best person that you can be before you try to like fix everyone else's problems, basically. Like, I want people so desperately to understand me, but I've really like come to realize that that's never gonna be the case. Like, no one can fully know who you are because everyone experiences different stimuli in their life. Like, everyone is shaped by each individual thing that they see and hear and do in their life. Everyone is so different, so you really can't fully understand someone, but you can try. You can really try your best, and I feel like people need to try harder to understand other people. I feel like there's just so much like need for empathy in this world, and through the pandemic especially, that has been shown. Like, people just don't give a fuck about other people, and it's just really sad. So I've kind of had like little lessons sprinkled in like here and there throughout this video, but if I have one takeaway that I really want people to get from this video is life is so short, and just take advantage of your time while you're here, and just make sure that you are living the life that you want to be living. And don't take life too seriously, but be serious about the things that you care about. Don't just take things lightly that really matter to you, because you never know when your last day is, and you want to make an impact on someone. Hopefully, I hope you want to do that. I want to do that. I want to impact people and be a good influence and an inspiration to people, and I want to spread positivity. Also, just be intentional. I mean, that kind of goes along with what I was just saying, but be intentional when you communicate with people, and if you care about them, tell them and show them, more so than telling them. Show them how you care about them and why you care about them and why they deserve to be cared about, and just be there for people. You know, like, everybody is going through something, you know, like, there's not a single person in this world that has it completely easy and just is not dealing with anything. So just be mindful of that when you communicate with people and about people, and try and help anyone out that you can. Why wouldn't you want to impact someone's life in a positive way, you know? Also, I would avoid saying things like, if you need anything, be like, hey, like, if you need a ride somewhere, or like if you want to just talk and catch up, like I can listen. Be there for people in ways that they can physically see or feel. You don't even have to be there physically for someone. You can just be there for them, like through a text, but just change the language. Don't be like, if you need anything, because they're not gonna come back and be like, oh, actually I need this, this, and this, and then you're gonna help them in those ways. Like they aren't gonna do that. Like someone that's going through something isn't gonna be like, oh, like actually, yeah, I do need some help, I do want to talk about it. Be the person to like be proactive and be like, oh, like this person's going through something right now, they probably need help, I'm gonna help them by XYZ, you know? Like just be there for people, especially now. Everyone's going through it right now. Everyone is at like the worst mental point in their lives that we've ever experienced. So like just fucking care about people and help them, you know? We all need help. But yeah, just be genuine. Like if you're sorry for someone's loss, say that. If you're not, then don't. Like don't say anything, because like they're not gonna want to hear some bullshit like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, if they know that you don't mean it. Like just be genuine, be intentional, and honest and just real with people, because life is real. People go through real life things all the time, and we need to be able to talk about it in real ways. People always say it never gets easier to deal with loss, but I feel like it does. It does get easier over time. Like anything with time gets easier. I'm obviously way more stable and in a way better place in my life now, 4 years after losing my mom, than I was right when I lost her, you know? It does get easier, and you might not stop thinking about that person ever, but the memories start to be more happy than sad at a certain point, you know? So for anyone that is going through this right now, or has gone through this, or is just going through anything, I'm here for you. If you want me to be, you know, like I'm someone that gets it. I can understand what you're going through, and if you need to talk, hit my DMs. If this video was impactful for you at all, then let me know, please. I would love to just see if I've made any kind of difference in anyone's life, but I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, I didn't really even cry that much. Like, towards the end I was good, I was solid, I didn't cry, so that's really good. Yeah, I love you guys. Whoever's watching this, I love you, and thank you for watching this. Subscribe to my channel. My content will not be like this most of the time. I just wanted to do something special because it is the 4-year anniversary of my mom dying, so I feel like I've been wanting to put this out for a long time, and here it is. I'm finally doing it. Like my eye is like I can't see for some reason. I look like I'm crying. Fuck, I'm not crying, I swear. I should probably mention that tomorrow is the 4-year anniversary. I never said that. Maybe I'll say it now. I'll put my fucking flannel back on and I'll say it now, and I'll put it at the beginning. Amy, put this clip in with when you were talking about how other people grieve earlier. I was doing a lot. Like, I don't know how I was doing so much, because I could never now. As a college student, oh my god, I can barely take 4 classes. We found out that I had pneumonia. Woohoo! I went to school for like that first week, and then that whole second week, my body was just like, girl, you need to chill out. You're going through something right now.